mighty on your throne.
I want to share with you how I conquered lust, how I conquered pornography, addiction, and masturbation. That was an issue in my life and was very terrible with me. And before I gave my life to Christ, I repented 2008, September, precisely. I gave my life to Christ. After being a religious person for a long time, I decided that I want to just, give my life to Jesus and continue. And after repenting, after giving my life to Christ, I had this issue with masturbation. It is lust that leads to all these things anyways, but my own was chronic. Like, God knows I'm telling you the honest truth. I was very, very, very addicted. And the thing comes on me suddenly. Comes on me suddenly, suddenly. Like, it comes like a spirit. There is always a lot of things. No matter where I was, no matter where I am, no matter where I go, no matter where, anywhere, once the urge comes, it comes very strong. And then the next thing is, I will just go back, just find video pornographic content. How I started browsing pornographic materials, no one taught me, no one showed me. I just don't know how. I just entered online, and then finally, I didn't know how I just entered into that website and became a regular customer. It was very painful. And after I gave my life to Christ, I thought those things would disappear. But it was that time it became strong. It became strong. I struggled with it for 3 years, 4 years. Like, I will just be in there, a kind of on fast. Sometimes I'll be praying and the urge will come. I'll just stop the prayers, and then sometimes I'll be on fast. Oh, I will not forget the day I was on 3 days dry fasting. And the reason why I was fasting was actually because of this. I wanted God to deliver me from that spirit of immorality, masturbation, and pornography. And when I was on that fast, on the last day of the fast, the urge came. When it came, I have to still go back to the thing I was fasting to be delivered from. Addiction is not something that you should just manage. Addiction is not something that fasting deals with. Even though fasting can reduce the hunger, it can reduce but it does not terminate the matter of pornography, addiction, and masturbation. So what happened was that I was a friend to a particular brother. He was actually an elder brother to me in the faith. And then one day I went to his house. I used to relate with him as a mentor. He coaches me. That time I didn't have a spiritual father then. So I was going to him. I was going to his house. So one day, he asked me a question. He asked me whether I have this issue of masturbation and pornography or whatever. Do I watch porn? I lied. I told him, I said, please, I don't do those things, because I was just asking myself, this guy is a guy I used to pray with. We prayed together. The tongues was something else. Like, it was as if we are competing in prayers, but I know I was not okay. So when he asked me that thing, I lied. I told him, I said, sir, I don't do masturbation. I don't do all those things. I'm a holy child of God. And I came back from his house, because I used to have access to his room. And at times when he's not around or when he travels, I would just be there. And then at times the urge used to come even when I was there. So I would just start doing everything on his bed. And then, oh my God, see, if you're a young minister, one of the things you must fight is the issue of immorality, sexual impurity, especially the issue of masturbation, because some of us are not ready to have sex with anybody. We don't want to have any scar. We don't want to have any scandal. We don't want to enter into anything. So we just use masturbation to fulfill the same urge. It's the same spirit. In fact, it's the same thing. Some people do not know that this matter of pornography, masturbation, this thing is demonic. And it has a way of weakening you. It has a way of making you come short of God's plan for your life. So when the guy asked me that question, I lied. I came back to the house. And when I came back to the house, something was telling me in my heart, Daniel, you have missed your day of divine visitation. I did not know anything about being open. I did not know anything about secrecy. It was then the Lord began to teach me. He said, sin thrives in secrecy. Sin thrives in secrecy. If there's nothing you are going to catch from all I said, just know this one. Sin thrives in secrecy. He said, once you keep it secret, that sin will grow. It will be very strong. It will have power over you to destroy you. So what I did was that I just ran back to the guy that same day. When I ran back, I began to tell him, I said, sir, please, I'm so sorry. The thing you asked me about, in fact, I'm actually a victim. I don't know how to come out of it. Even in this house, I've been masturbating here. I've been doing all sorts of things. And the man of God just touched my back and said, Daniel, it's okay. It's well in the name of Jesus Christ. The Lord will deliver you. After rebuking me, he said, this thing, you are a preacher. You are preaching to people. You are ministering to people. How will you carry this kind of addiction and you are ministering? I told him, I said, I don't know. It's not as if I like it. Because once you finish the masturbation, immediately you sit down, you will be regretting everything. You will regret everything. The regret is very strong. So when he finished talking to me, then he told me to go home. So I went to, it was as if a weight was lifted from my spirit. I just didn't know how the passion, the urge, I was waiting for it to come. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 1 week. The urge just left. There is a measure of deliverance you will not get until you become open, until you open up to people that are going to help you. You know, many times when I feel like, okay, let me just go because that thing has become part of me, let me just do 1 or 2. Something will tell me, what if this man asked you, and when last you did this thing, will you lie again? I will say, I'm not ready to lie. Since I was not ready to lie, I didn't continue. So I believe that when a man is addicted, you need to find an accountability partner. It may be your spiritual father, it may be a mentor, it may be a friend. Open up, tell him how everything started. I will still come online, I will still come again to tell you how you can put that lust, that desire, that urge, you can put it under permanent subjection. It can actually die. So that was how that thought, that openness, that opening up to this man was one of the things that granted me access to my deliverance. I became seriously free from the urge and whatever you may call it. Then, after, I don't know whether you are following me. If I would like you to make your comments, just make your comments, but because I know that several young persons are just into this and they are really suffering from this and they don't know how to. One of the first ways to be delivered from immorality is to open it up to someone that you know that will be able to handle it, either by speaking, either by monitoring you, either by calling you frequently to ask you. Then there was a question he asked me when we were talking about how to make my deliverance permanent. God bless you. I'm seeing some of you that are joining. Please, if you are joining and you are watching, please drop your comment and please share this video to with every young minister, every child of God, every person that you know that is a child of God, but he may have this issue of addiction. When the devil wants to kill a man, he does not use demons at times. He just gives you something. He just keeps you busy with 1 or 2 addictions, so that as you labor and labor and labor, it will look as if you are laboring in vain. So the next thing he told me, he asked me a question. He said, if I give you a small python, and then I told you to just train this python, keep it for me. I gave you a cage, and I told you to please put this python in this cage. And that cage has only one opening, one tiny opening, through which you can put in the python. And then you will just be feeding the python. And after the python had grown so large that even the head of the python could not pass through the opening through which it entered, because it has become large. There's no way you can bring it out because the cage is an iron cage. And then I tell you to kill the python. He asked me, he said, Daniel, how will you kill the python? I said, I will bring gun, I'll bring knife, I'll stab it, I'll use hot water, I'll pour on it, and then the man of God said, I don't want you to use any weapon. Don't use gun, don't use machete, don't use anything. Just kill the python. I was thinking, so how would I kill the python without a weapon? I was thinking I could not find anything. He said, the only way to kill the python without a weapon is to starve the python. Starve it. Stop giving it food. If you stop giving it food, the first day, the python will still be alive. The second day, the python will still be alive. Even 1 week, the python will still be alive. But one thing is this, it will be getting weaker on daily basis. Some of you that are passing through this addiction, you have this addiction of masturbation and pornography. The reason why it is still powerful is because you are feeding it on daily basis. You are feeding it through comedies. You are watching Sabinus. You are watching all manner of people where they portray breasts, they portray buttocks of ladies. If a man, they show you things that makes you begin to desire immorality. All these things are the things that powers the desire to masturbate. So if you want to starve the urge for masturbation, one of the things to do is to disconnect yourself from every source, everything that feeds your lust, everything that feeds your desire. Disconnect yourself from masturbation and from comedies that where ladies portray their breasts, comedies where they use vulgar languages. You know, some of us that has slept with ladies before, or you have done one or two things. It just takes one word that will remind you of what you did in the past. Once that word comes, what happens is that you eventually start looking for a way to quench your lust. So disconnect yourself from all that makes you lust after these things. Some of you watch Nigerian movies. You know, in Nigerian movies, everything is all about immorality, love. The love of Africa, the rich man that fell in love with the poor lady, the rich man that fell in love with the poor lady that eventually married a king, and the palace prince, and you know, all those kind of things that Nigerian movies they act, and eventually you will see kissing, you will see romance. And if you are someone who used to be very addicted to this immorality, what will happen is that once you begin to see all those things, once you begin to see all those films and videos, it will begin to remind you of how you should just go and satisfy your urge. And eventually, many of us, you end up doing those things. So you have to starve your lust. Starve it. Stop associating with people that their only language is women, men, relationship, sex, all this kind of thing. It has a way of reminding you. It has a way of reminding you of your past habit. So if you want to get free from masturbation, if you want to get free from pornography, you want to get free, stop feeding your lust. Stop watching movies. Stop listening to jokes that exalt all this. In Nigeria, everybody is becoming a comedian. And you know that nothing sells as sexual whatever. Sexual content, you just have to be naked. Once they are naked, the other day I was watching, I was scrolling through Facebook, I saw two persons, they were trying to, this guy, I don't know the kind of game they were playing. This person will touch the guy's private part, and the guy will touch her breast, and they were just doing it. You know, when you finish watching all these things, it has a way of recording in your brain, and tomorrow when you are alone, the pictures will come. Starve your lust when you stop feeding it. So the man said, if I stop feeding the python, and then once I stop feeding the python for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, the python will just die on its own. So what you don't feed will never grow. And once it cannot grow, it cannot disturb you. Remember, you have a precious destiny with God. You have a place you want to arrive. Except you just want to be a useless man. Except you just want to be someone that will just live. After living on earth, you just, everything about you will just go. But if you want to create and cause an impact, if you want to cause an impact, I want you to know that one of the things to do is to starve your distraction. Starve these things that makes you to fall into all these things. You are a precious destiny. You have something that you must fulfill with God. And one of the things that makes people ineffective when it comes to the matters of destiny is sexual immorality And one of the most effective sexual vice that people pass through is masturbation. Masturbation. And it thrives in secrecy. Once you are keeping it alone for yourself and on yourself, just with yourself, you are going to see that these things will keep growing. So I hope this video has just blessed you. If it is blessing your life, or if it has blessed you, please, I would like you to please share this to your friends and with your friends. And then please don't forget to follow and like this page. I would also like you to get my YouTube page, Daniel Emmanuel, on YouTube, and subscribe. There are more rich contents that will be coming your way. Next time when I come, I'm going to tell you how to pray for long. How I learned long prayers. You know, if you are going to fulfill destiny, one of the things you must do is to learn how to pray for long. I'll be coming.